Afternoon, folks. Brian here, Geomagnetic Earthwatch, Thursday, December 5, 2024. This is my earthquake report for the one off the coast of Northern California. First, magnitude and depths are always adjusted. So as the information comes in from various reporting agencies, give it time for everything to settle down, come up with the final numbers. It is not a mega quake, Paul. It is not like a 7.3, it's like an 8.5, Paul. So I'm going to go through, we'll start off with the current information. Then I'm going to show you a few things that's happened in the previous days, which may or may not be related. I believe they are. So at the end of the Mendocino fracture zone, as it goes into California, Northern California, we have a shallow 7.0 magnitude earthquake. About a half a kilometer depth, approximately, with a number of aftershocks. These aftershocks are going to continue for some time. We also have a shallow 1 kilometer depth, 4.1 at Cobb, California. One moment, 1 hour and 46. So in my mind, I see what's happening. So I'm going to go back. So this actually started further on south off the coast of Lower San Diego. There are 3.9 shallow depth, 10 kilometers. Then the one at Cobb, 1847 GMT, UTC. (1844). A little bit of conflict in the timing. So this one first, about 50 minutes before the magnitude 7. Magnitude 7, and then a couple minutes later we have the 4.1 at Cobb, very shallow. Now there's only one buoy into event mode. So our earthquake happened right around here. As you can see, no other buoys are in event mode. Now, of course, out of abundance of caution, their parameters, I'm assuming, is magnitude 7 or above. They have to issue the tsunami alert. So actually this is only an approximate 4-inch rise or jerk up and down. That is it, approximately 4-inch or 1/10 of 1 meter. Please remember, as I point out so many times, tsunami buoys are anchored to the ocean floor. Therefore, if there's any movement in the ocean floor, that will put the buoy into event mode. It's not always by a tsunami. Remember, 4-inch. I suspect, again, another sudden jolt of the ocean floor. Continuing, going back to yesterday, we had a heat indication offshore of California. This one right here. At 309 Kelvin. Let's go back to 2 days before, about 2 days ago. If you remember, I made a posting about an algae bloom off the coast of our earthquake. Our earthquake is right here. A couple of days ago, this bloom was produced. The cause is one of two things. Primarily, these are caused when you heat up the waters. Now, there could have been some sort of effluent discharge from this region, feeding nutrients into the waters, possible. But as I pointed out just before this earthquake, this happened right over the Mendocino fracture zone, suggesting our waters have been heating up. Remember that heat detection right here yesterday, day or two before, our waters were heating up as suggested by the algae bloom. Next, let's go through the tremor report, Pacific Northwest tremor. This is for yesterday. So yesterday we did have a grouping of tremors right in line. So this is typical, this is normal. You do not always have earthquakes with these tremors. So our earthquake is approximately right here. This is the Mendocino stuck mouse fracture zone. Our tremors. This is a standard location where we have tremors. Now, I once took a 10-year period and I looked at every single tremor event and earthquake, looking to see if there was a pattern, and there is not. Sometimes earthquakes happen following tremors, but not always. Other times tremors follow earthquakes. So this is yesterday. Let's go back to the day before, just a couple. This is the antipode, by the way, so if there's a response, it'll be up here in the fracture zone off the coast of Madagascar. Remember, the parameters is anything for a 6.5 or larger. It'll go through the center of the Earth, come out on the other side within 30 degrees, losing between 1 and 1.5 magnitude. Therefore, we can expect possibly a 5.5 to a magnitude 6 earthquake in this region here. So out of an abundance of caution, the tsunami alert was warranted, should not be ignored. How do you know this is not a precursor? I see certain things. I see certain things on a daily basis. So it doesn't kind of surprise me. And again, I try and visualize things underneath the crust with the outer core expansion. Energy coming from the core, not laterally, from underneath. First, 3.9 off the coast of San Diego. Day before, the heat detection. The day before then, on December 3rd, the algae blooms. My observational opinion. I hope people learn, evaluate ahead of time your evacuation routes, primary and secondary. Take into consideration the primary are all going to be jammed up. Therefore, you want to know your secondary. You probably want to practice your secondary more than your primary routes of escape to higher ground. Now, I'm sure there's going to be lots of YouTube videos out there and lots of news reports, blah, blah, blah. questions are going to be like, is the big one coming? Of course there is. There's going to be a whole bunch of big ones all over the planet. He says so. Unfortunately, if we believe we're about to go into the period of tribulation, then there's going to be the loss of at least 2 billion lives through the great earthquakes in diverse places and related disasters, the wars, the rumors of wars, the pestilence and the famines, and so on and so on. Anyway, it was not a mega earthquake. It's not a 7.3, which is the same as an 8.5. If you got an 8.5 earthquake there, that is all.